think he's getting it. Nice. And that was a bit of a shame. Some really nice long stretches down there. But second pike. I think we're going to pull this out with a bit of weed on it. Oh, maybe not. Another fish. A bit bigger this time. Gone for the Goldie pattern today. One of the UV. Not a huge fan of the UV if I'm completely honest. Much bigger fan of the classic colours. Thankfully they seem to have re-released those. So I'm going to be on the Fox Rage or onto the local tackle shop. Might get myself an order of supernatural roach and silver baitfish, two of my absolute favourite colours. Suit such a large variety of conditions. Great bait to use, and you can fish it in a number of different ways. For now, I've cast this one out somewhere in the middle. We're just going to let it sink down. Watch for that slack. We're on it now, and then just a slow, steady retrieve all the way. And we've got some real good clarity here today. So this Goldie colour could do us the business. I'm not going to be able to cast. Wind is coming straight on at me. I'm not going to be able to do any seriously good casts against the wind today. It catches these what are they, the curly tail baits. You got a little flick, maybe 15 meters or so, but we're not going to get anything decent out of that. Sometimes it's just worth, you know, walking, casting the other way instead. Cast with the wind instead of against it if you can, or try a different approach altogether. Go across the river, try some different water. Beautiful rainbow there, you can see. Despite planning to come down for a quick evening dry, nice warm evening session, we've got a windy, borderline wet, certainly coming in wet session. But it doesn't bother me, because it'll be a fun quick hours fishing before end of day. I just want to see if I can catch one or two pike. They seem to have come on the feed again these last couple of days, more so in the mornings. At the minute we've had some fairly warm still evenings, so they've been coming up just before or just around sunrise, and proper smashing baits that are coming past them. But I wanted to bring something a little bit bigger, nothing massive today, and just see if we can't get some whippy pike smashing them out the margins. Come back to an area that you would have seen me catch just a single pike on first time coming down, and I said, or at least I think I said in the video, I should come down with a slightly bigger bait and give that a go. I was talking about the monster baits that I've got, some of the 100 plus grams, 30 centimetre ish baits, but instead we've gone with one of my favourites, the Fox Rage Pro Grub, 16 centimetre on a 15 gram jig head. Just heavy enough to get him down, not too heavy that he can't still waft through the water if you want him to. But yeah, I am using some of the colours that I've got in the box that I don't use all that often, because I just don't catch so many fish on them, so I don't like them quite as much. Doesn't mean they're not good, and we will give them a good go today. Counter to a few of the sessions that I've had recently, my brother has been kind of favouring the morning sessions. I find they can work quite well, but they work better when it's been really sunny, really warm. And I find kind of coming into the evenings on some locations a bit better for pike fishing, though pike, if they're hungry, will feed throughout the day, sometimes avoiding the sun, sometimes just coming to sit in it. But I'm pretty confident we'll see one today, maybe two, but hopefully reasonably decent fish. I'm hoping for a double, as I think we always are. Yeah, sometimes they're not. Recently I've been doing a lot of fishing on lighter kit, just hoping for a few fish rather than big fish. Today I want a double. It's a lot to ask though, unless you know the water where you've got, you know, lots of big fish around, or you know the water really well and you know where the pike like to hang. It can be pretty hard to target those double figure fish. some stretches, some venues do hold, you know, an abundance of them. And I've heard people say that, you know, where there's one big fish, there's lots. But for me, finding those fish can be a bit rare. But this canal does hold big fish. I am, with every cast though, wanted to switch out from this Goldie and stick on one of the colours that I do like. I think I might have some silvers on me, although we might have to downsize to use them, which will mean tying up a new rig or sticking on a straight jig head. Not a bad idea, but we'll stick with this for a little bit and see how things play out. Let this one sink right down. I need to work out whether I'm in that deeper water yet. Have a little look, see, count them down. Yeah, not very deep actually here. So I still want to find that deeper water yet. Just feels ages since I've purposefully targeted pike on this gear. I did do that short session looking on a new venue, on this venue, for, you know, some small pike, just to using the lighter kit just to kind of explore a bit. I find it a little bit easier, but it does mean that if I haven't got the heavier kit or the, you know, the medium kit on me, I do feel like I'm missing out sometimes when, you know, the fish are there and you know you'd have hooked up if you were using a stinger or a bigger bait or something, but maybe you never get the hook, the fish hitting in the first place. But hey ho, I'm excited to try. You'll definitely never have me go, oh, I wish I wasn't fishing. Even when I'm not catching anything, I'm always fishing. Love it. Think we'll check the hook there. There's nothing on the hook. Felt a big old tug as we were coming in, but there is a there's a bit of a shelf on this section of the canal. You can see it by the way the water kind of sits funny on it. When the wind's blowing, it affects the kind of shallower water differently, and it may have been that I was hitting as opposed to kind of vegetation and stuff. But the yeah, the feel of it hitting that shelf, you know, a sudden stop is a bit like a tug from a pike hitting. So it always gets the heart running, gets the heart racing, gets you striking into nothing sometimes. But we got some nice lily spots coming up, and that's what I've been kind of hoping for, waiting for. But these 16cm Fox Rage Pro Grubs, they will bring fish of all sizes in. I've had big fish, little fish, cardboard box. But no, like I've had doubles. I've had, you know, fish of less than a pound on them. They're just a really versatile, easy to use, relatively affordable bait. They cost about £2 I think at the minute, under a tree. Another feature worth trying. Things falling off the tree, bugs, insects, fruit, whatever it might be, that can bring smaller fish in. The smaller fish bring the bigger fish in, so this is as good a feature as any to at least have a cast around. You know, if your time's short and you're storming onto the features that you know you really want to fish, you know, a tree is definitely one to keep on your radar. Don't ignore it, and just keep at it, give it a go. Plenty of variety to try, but I want a silver bait. I really do. Thing is, I'm not opposed to fishing a gold bait. I really quite like a gold bait, in fact. But anything, you know, with a lot of colour, a lot of sparkle or anything like that, I find they work well in a particular kind of condition or a particular water. They can be absolute killers in the right situation, but then the silvers, the natural colours, can be your absolute best bet, your all-rounder for kind of most conditions. Really cloudy water, really really clear water, silvers can just absolutely dominate a session. But that said, they, you know, they may have their time and place where they don't perform quite as well, which is why you've got the other varieties, the other colours, the other patterns. Oh, that's an awkward position. I think I had a hit around here on my walk back last time as well. It was one of the locations. I'm going to go mega far today, probably up to that boat, maybe a little bit further because I start getting reeds and we'll fish around those. This bait works really well in a number of situations. For me, one of the best ways to fish with it is just letting it hit the bottom and then just a slow, consistent retrieve. Nothing fancy, nothing special. Maybe incorporate the occasional pause, but literally, hopefully you can see, yeah, it's nothing fast, nothing crazy, and even the pauses are just light, tiny little breaks in momentum, just to add a bit of variety into the retrieve. Hopefully get some fish interested. And the speed is only really there just to get the tail moving. If a fish wants to feed and they see a tail like that moving, they'll absolutely demolish it. But yeah, this is the spot I had that one fish out on the other day. Always worth trying them again. It's usually a reason one fish is hanging in a spot, be it food, be it shelter, be it the third thing. Oh, first hit. He didn't feel the hook. I don't think he's going to have another go, but he might. I don't think he's getting it. Nice. Oh, I'm falling in. I didn't think we'd get him. I just wanted to run off. Not pulling at all today. There's the net anyway. Oh. And he's in the net. Nice one. Go guys. First little pike out. Not too bad condition. Few old wall wounds. He's only a little one. Let's go and find a bigger one. Oh guys, first fish in about 20 minutes or so. Most of that was walking, but yeah, we're going to keep it up. Chuck me a like and subscribe. Let's keep going. About £2, having a little smash on the margins. Don't know where he came in from, but yeah, at least potentially they're interested in old Goldie here. Plenty more potential left yet. We've still got about half an hour of light, and I'm determined to catch at least one more, hopefully something a bit bigger. Really didn't think we were going to get that fish. He had a pop, he missed the hook. He had another pop, he missed the hook. He turned on it, he was still interested, so we ran it slow, we hung it, we gave it a nudge, and he eventually found the hook, and we just pulled it into him. That's what you need to do sometimes. But we got him unhooked quickly, got him back quickly. Happy little fish. Happy little me. Yeah, we're clouding up a little bit in the water here. We haven't got quite that same level of clarity. You can, if you look down here, see the different patterns on the water. Sometimes that can be caused by shadows, but more often than not on water like this, it's caused by changes in depth, and they dredge all of these canals from time to time. So there is kind of like a man-made shelf that runs, what is it, about a metre out, and it will just drop off sharpish. This canal is ridiculously deep. You can get down to about 16, 17 feet in places. So, you know, it's dredged out. You end up with these margins that are maybe 5-6 feet pretty consistently, and then all of a sudden, bang, it drops out to 10, 12, 15, whatever it might be. And fishing along those, proper hotspot for fish. So it's a great place to run a bait. Run along them, run over them, bump near them, slow things down, speed things up, past them. You'll find fish. Just want a bigger fish, because that one was a small one, and they do get pretty big in here. I've caught them just around 10 pounds. It's not massive, not monstrous by any means, but I have seen pictures of 20s, 30s coming out of this canal, just in case of finding them, and occasionally getting a little bit lucky. Grass and weeds and things are all coming up really fast now. I think when I came down the other day, none of this grass was over this barrier, and certainly wasn't up this high. Slow right at the exit here, little flick down into the margins, and say this old steelwork that we've got. Fish like to hold up against it. That goes for pretty much all fish: pike, perch, zander. So fishing along it, it's just sensible. I'm not saying, you know, by any stretch of the imagination, spend all your casting there, but definitely don't ignore it. I think we're going to walk down to it, to be honest. I quite fancy fishing it, but we're just going to trail my bait behind me as we do so, and hope something comes in as a pop at it. Another fish. If we can get another fish in, say, 10 minutes, that's 2 fish in half an hour. It's not too bad. You know, I know you have sessions from time to time where you don't get a fish, you know, all day. Maybe you fish really hard and you see maybe one if you're lucky. But yeah, you definitely get those sessions where you blank out. So when you do come out for a, you know, quick 20-minute, 30-minute session, I've probably had an hour, or probably will have had an hour by the time I finish here. If I can get 2, maybe 3 fish out, I'm super happy with that. Feels like a good day for fishing. Doesn't feel like an amazing day for fishing. You get those sometimes where, you know, the stars align, pressures are right, weather's just perfect, fish are behaving in the perfect way, and you just see fish after fish. Love a session like that. And sometimes, you know, that block of proper decent fishing may even just fall into kind of like a half-hour window. Go and check out my zander fishing video, or rather my last river session video that I did. I had perch, I had zander, all in the space of about half an hour of being there. I think I did maybe an hour and a half's fishing total, but I was pretty committed to trying a few little spots down there. But I was proper keen on this one area I knew was renowned for zander. I was aiming for perch initially, but then it just became increasingly appealing to try for zander. So after we had our first perch, I switched over to zander, and it was a really good session for me. I managed to bust my zander PB twice. It was my first ever river zander. For me, an incredible, successful session. Would like that again. Hopefully in the not too distant future, when the rivers are back open, we can have some of those nice long warm summer's evenings. Might be a big fish heading down there. Summer's evening, trying to catch some nice summertime pike, summertime zander, evening zander, and maybe some massive perch as well. I love river fishing. This canal fishing only really kicked off for me last year. I am coming up to the end of my first year fishing this canal, which I've been incredibly happy with. Never really put much time into canals before this year. Do need to pop to the local tackle shop and get a new permit, because I will be continuing on this canal. I might drop the small canal this year. I love it down there, but there's been a lot of work going on it recently, well, over the last sort of 4 or 5 years, and whilst the fishing down there is amazing, all of the fish are quite small, and actually there's a lot of spots that I can't fish. The club I belong to seem to have dropped a load of their water, and there's just kind of like a load of unclaimed canal which I have requested to pay for to fish to the company that manages the canal, and they were unfortunately, no, I'm afraid you can't. And that was a bit of a shame. Some really nice long stretches down there, but second pike, he's pulling a bit more. Same sort of size fish, nothing big. Let's get the net. Oh, he's chunky. Oh, ho, ho. This net is he's not coming out. Just get him in there again. Oh, there it is. Get it in there. No, he's not. There he is. How awkward was that? Let's sort that out. Well guys, fish number 2, little bit bigger, little bit better, a little bit fatter, much better condition. Not a great deal going on that one. He's really healthy. Nice little fish there. We'll get that one back. He's ready to go for sure. Let's get him home. Well, 2 fish, pretty easy going so far. That's 2 fish in 30 minutes. I like a session like that. We're gonna keep going, see if we can get a couple more. Chuck me a like and subscribe. Let's get to it. Guys and Pike, sorry for that cumbersome netting. Then I was admittedly struggling to get the net out properly. Then there was a tangle of the little nubbins, little latches that stop the net from kind of retracting again. I've sorted that out for the next fish, so it shouldn't happen again. Need a slightly faster net, something a little bit more reliable that I can whip out quicker, and probably downsize from this massive one that I've got. This one has a time and a place around river fishing where the fish can be pretty big, but on these canals it is a rarity for me, at least, to see anything much bigger than a double. I've had a few doubles out of here, but nothing major. So chuck suggestions in the comments below if there are nets you recommend I take a look at. I was thinking about the, I think it's the Abu Garcia Beast kind of equivalent net. It has like, I can get a non-folding variety. It'd be nice because I mostly have this one unfolded anyway, and it has a better locking mechanism. The pole doesn't twist, I don't think. That's what I'm looking at. But any suggestions, stick them down below. Let's try and find me a new better net so I can stop whinging about this one and blaming my inadequacies. That's a terrible way of putting it. My inabilities as an angler on the net, and write off another excuse from my arsenal for not catching good fish. Comments below. Nets. What nets shall I look at? Don't just comment nets. Last couple of spots now, we're coming up to some reeds that I was keen to fish. Something a little bit bigger. That one was a touch bigger, but I want a monster. Down in the comments now, monster please. I'll settle for a 20 pounder, I'm not greedy. So I let this one drop down. We're just on the edge of that shelf I mentioned. Let him drop, he's on the bottom. Just steady retrieve. Slightly more aggressive slam from that one. I saw a flash of tail coming for it, and I thought, that can't be it, but we'll slow things down. And would you believe it? Popped out of nowhere. Was indeed a fish. Happy days. This looks nice and tasty, feature rich. A lot of old reeds. These will come up again in the next couple of months. Offer some really good fishing around them. Absolutely the type of features I look for in late spring, summertime. Not going to go much further now. Don't want to be walking back in the dark. And there is a bit of fishing to do on the way back. And I do think it's worth chucking on a different bait for the walk back. Maybe just the green variety. It's another UV bait. Have I changed my opinion on the UV patterns from Fox Rage? Yeah, on these Pro Grubs. What's everyone else's opinion on the UV patterns? Have you had much luck on them? I've caught on them, sure, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of them. I prefer the classics, and they have recently-ish re-released them, as I was told they were. Maybe that's a annual thing. But I have my favourites, the ones I use a lot, the ones I catch on a lot. But we're gonna have a blast on another UV one for the walk back and see if we can't catch another fish, hopefully something a little bit bigger. Feeling pretty confident, pretty happy right now. I found a silver bait fish. One of my absolute favourite patterns of the Fox Rage Pro Grub, in 16 centimetres, ready to go. Oh, big swirl over there. A quick little storm down to that little spot just to make sure it wasn't a big old fish, and then back we go. Yeah, this silver bait fish is one of my favorite colors, and I thought, hey, hang up, if we've got it, give it a go, see if you can't catch a couple of fish on the walk back, and see if you prefer it to the Goldie this evening. You never know. I don't think we've found a new favourite in the Goldie, but I'm certainly not so concerned about using it in the future. Should I need something different, or should I only be able to get that pattern? I've got a fairly heavy weight, single screw-in jig head, 15 gram. Definitely not needed for these baits. I used to use a 7 gram quite a lot. It allows for a much more natural flow. The 15 really drops it down, and is what I tend to go for on a lot of the rivers, because it allows me to work with faster flows. But if we cast out and do little quick knocks, we're going to get kind of like a swim, drop, swim, drop, and we can pick the point in the river, the depth in the river or canal that we want to fish, and we can just keep it going. We can try a couple of crazy fast retrieves with pauses in, which definitely sometimes works. And actually, it's probably one of the most fun ways I've caught pike on this canal in particular. I'd never thought it would work in the past, but you just see this thing come storming behind it, obviously more interested in your bait than anything in the world beforehand, and they come flying out of the water, smashing it. Okay, cast out. leave my my cast off, letting the bait sink. We cast in and kind of walk towards it. We're just going to walk, rod kind of close to the edge, as close to the margin as we can to avoid any tangles with weeds that are hanging near the edge. Occasionally we're just going to let line come out of the rod, out of the reel. That'll kind of encourage the bait to sink a bit. Now we're just going to stop up. Yeah, we just ran through some weed there. So I think we're going to pull this out with a bit of weed on it. Oh, maybe not. Another fish. A bit bigger this time. Whoa! Oh man, he's flung the tail. He's flung the entire hook. We'll see if we can get that entire bait. Guys, he's a touch bigger, this one. Much healthier looking fish. Really nice take. He absolutely smashed that silver bait fish, my absolutely favourite colour of the Fox Rage Pro Grub. He has smashed the tail off. He has flung the bait. He hooked himself really awkwardly, but we snipped the hook as quick as we could, and we're getting him back. Well guys, I obviously haven't finished fishing yet, but I want to get an outro before the light fades. We've had two at least. Maybe I had a third, maybe a fourth, I don't know. But chuck me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.